In this video, we cover our trip from Stuart, Florida to Miami, Florida. After Miami, we cross over to Bahamas, and those videos will be covered separately. So after this video, we will start up again in Stuart as we begin our travels north. Stay tuned for our Bahamas videos that will come at a later date. This trip was broken into 3 travel days, although it was actually longer because we waited in Fort Lauderdale at an anchorage over a weekend while we waited for our weather window to cross over to the Bahamas. Our first travel day was from Stuart to Lake Boca and was 68.5 miles and took us 8 hours and 30 minutes to complete. We had departed at 8:20 in the morning and arrived just before 5 p.m. As with our other videos, you will see the various anchorages we considered or had recommended to us as anchors on the chart. Marinas are the blue pins, and the yellow line is our actual track that we traveled.
Our second bridge lift of the day. This is the Atlantic Street Bridge. Our first lift was the George Bush Boulevard Bridge, which was literally, you can still see it off in the distance and up there. We should be able to get through to our destination now without any bridge lifts, although there is one 19-foot coming up. Chalk this home up as the most unique home. Look at that tree is painted on the side of the house, and somebody has put a lot of time and effort into that home.
On our second day, we departed at 7 a.m. and arrived at Lake Sylvia, our anchorage in Fort Lauderdale, at 11 a.m. that morning. The distance was just 17.2 miles and a little over 4 hours of travel time through numerous bridges. While traveling through Pompano Beach, we stopped at Sandy Harbor Resort and Marina and filled up on our way south. We wanted to have full fuel tanks before arriving into Miami and being ready for our crossing to Bahamas. We spent 3 nights anchored in Lake Sylvia, and while it was not what we would have called an ideal anchorage, mainly due to the noise pollution and the congestion in the anchorage, it was a good spot, close to things to do, and we felt safe. Can't beat the price either. Free is great, especially in that area. We found it challenging finding places to dock our dinghy, but did enjoy going to the 15th Street Fisheries, where they have a dock to tie up at, and they let us do some great shopping while we tied up. We wound up eating lunch there and dinner there as a result. A great spot and one of my favorite restaurants.
We have left our boat and we are dinghying into, into the town.
We're in the canals of Venice.
It feels like that. We're going to go under a low bridge.
Yeah.
A very low bridge. I don't think we could do this one if it was high tide.
Good thing our dinghy doesn't have a fly bridge.
Yeah. I don't think we have to duck. There is that feeling of wanting to duck.
Is there? Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Camp duck. All right, we are crossing the ICW right now.
In our dinghy.
In our dinghy. In our little dinghy, looking for big boats that might be coming our way because there's
And there's a Royal
a few
Caribbean
big boats ahead of us.
under away.
Royal Caribbean. Oh yeah, Royal Caribbean looks like it's got some steam going out there. Indoor covered slips for your mega yacht. Maybe not the mega yachts, but your pretty darn big yachts. We're seeing a lot of those yachts as we go down the canal.
15th Street
We
Canal.
feel like we're in Venice, but we're in Fort Lauderdale. So we went out this way earlier, much earlier today, and we're back now with our dinghy after a successful lunch and just getting some more provisioning. And the bow of the dinghy might get under, but I don't think the center console is going to go under. And I'm not going under. I do not want anyone who can't. Don't go under. Don't do this. Holy crap. Do not do this. It was a bold attempt. But
Apparently we weren't.
we are just below high tide. It's not happening. We could wait for an hour.
Yeah. Well, we'll be home in an hour. It's going to take us a long time.
Yeah, we have.
So right there, and that's
Yes.
where our boat is.
The boat is right over there.
Now all the way around.
We have.
We'll be home in an hour.
Hey, yep, here we go again.
I think we can make it.
I'm gonna try this again. I have to find a different spot because I gotta get down. No, I wanted to have a place to bend over and be out of the way. So the canal that we took has 2 bridges, so we're coming up to the second. So this time I'm backwards.
I can sit upright on this one. Maybe not.
You might get a concussion if you sit upright.
No.
was worried that a car might go over and shake something loose.
Our third and final day of travel before crossing to the Bahamas took us from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, where we stayed at the Vice City Marina. The distance was 27.8 miles and took just under 5 hours to complete.
We have been in Fort Lauderdale since Friday. We've come out to the ICW a couple of times on our dinghy. And so we know we're very close to the Port Everglades port, the cruise ship port. You can see right ahead of us that there is a cruise ship there. I think there should be 2 or 3. Checked the schedule last night. Just ahead of us, right here, that's the 15th Street Fisheries. And we met Cam's cousin, Lisa, and her husband Glenn here for lunch one day, and we had dinner here with some of our other friends this morning. Great place to go, especially if you're anchored in the area and you're on a dinghy, because we dinghied right in and tied up the dinghy on a floating dock, which is perfect, and had a lovely meal. We were here for lunch. We asked them at the end of lunch if we could leave our dinghy here for a little while longer, and we went off and we ran some errands. That was extremely convenient. They were very nice. Another option is down the end of the 15th Street Canal, so the entrance is right there where that tunnel just came out of. And at the end, there's another bar and restaurant there called Boca Yard. And you can pay $10 to tie up the rope there. I recommend that you be responsible for how your boat is tied up. So we haven't passed the cruise ships yet. We are having to slow down. We're going to have to yield to this big guy who's leaving the docks. I checked the Port Everglades schedule. We were supposed to be sneaking in between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. arrivals of big container ships, but there wasn't a departure at this time, so maybe behind schedule. Behind a bit, I believe that this cruise ship is Royal Caribbean. I think I can just see, oh yes, definitely. You can just see the crest at the bottom. For years, when Cam and I have gone on cruise ships, we have looked over the edge, down at all, going by, and knew that this was part of the ICW, and that someday we would be in one of the smaller boats that we'd see going by. And so this is today. I think we'll be closer to what looks to me to be a Holland American ship. This guy is labeling the channel now. Alright, so I was totally wrong. It is not Holland America. It is Celebrity Equinox. They have been calling, I could hear on one of the ships, I'm not sure which, they've been calling zones. So, we left at 8 o'clock. It's probably approaching 8:30, so they're probably getting to the last of their zones, getting people off the ships. But as I was saying before, and I'm going to just zoom back if we can, this has been a dream of ours to be the boat going by the cruise ship on the ICW. And that is what we are doing today. It is Monday, so not as many ships in here. We don't go anywhere on the ICW on the weekend. It's crazy busy, so we've just been sitting comfortably at an anchorage since Friday afternoon.
airports. It's on the hour and a half hour. We arrived about 10 minutes early, which is a little early, but this is hopefully, yes, we were trying to go very, very slow so we wouldn't get here too soon. Anyway, we are hoping that this is the last of our bridges for several months. So we are just going by the exit for Miami, which is where we're going to go out tomorrow or the next day when we head over to Bahamas. But there are 4 cruise ships over here that we're going by.
This would be the end of our Florida travels for a while as we departed for Bahamas the next morning, where we would enjoy 2 months of the Bahamian Islands and weather before returning to Florida to continue our loop in April. Stay tuned for our next video, which will start in Stuart and work north on the ICW.
We're in Miami, downtown, pretty much as downtown as you can get. And it sort of reminds us of when we were in Chicago.